during the season because even though she was the first one eliminated in the premiere, which I did not see. Like I told y'all from before, I did see the premiere at when I went to the red carpet premiere, but they didn't show the full 2 hours. They only showed us the first half. The second half, I got to watch with the rest of the world. So I didn't know Irene got eliminated until the episode actually dropped the next day because we had seen it. The big premiere thing was on Thursday. Friday was when the episode aired, and then I got to see it with the rest of the world. So I had no idea, like I said, Irene got eliminated. So she made best, of her time at the reunion. She got in the middle of a lot of things. I don't know if it was either the Irene DuBois show or if it was Mistress Isabel Brooks, but Mistress was in the midst of a lot of shit on the show. And within good reason because, a lot of these girls be producing themselves and they don't want to give what needs to be given. So Mistress was like, I'm just going to turn up and be the whole, I'm going to be a messy queen era. And that's why she was in the center of a lot of the drama, which I was living for because I look at this as all but entertainment. Like I've told you, I won't say I've been raised by drag queens, but I've been around them for so long since I've been going to nightclubs for over 2 decades that when I see stuff like this on Drag Race, I'm not bothered because I'm entertained by it all. A lot of y'all go on social media and take this shit too damn serious. It's like, y'all need to get a life. Doing team this and fighting and getting in beefs and battles and things with people on social media. And we're going to talk about the bullying and stuff because that's what Lux has been experiencing from Trinity and her fans. You know how it is between white queens and black queens. So we're going to get to that in a second. But the Seattle performer basically also did an interview with Quick Drag podcast over at Entertainment Weekly, in which she opened up about rekindling the flames of Wiggate because she had the whole 40 inches battle. Is it 40 inches? Is it not 40 inches? The wig that Lux came in with. And then the infamous Salina EsTitties read. So basically what she said was the energy in the room was awkward. It sort of sucked out all the air out of the room. And that's when the whole thing, if you need a reminder, she read Salina for having a fake accent, which rubbed Salina the wrong way because we saw her roll her eyes. And then she said, okay, white girl. She goes and says, it was one of those things that I knew was going to be risky. I knew that as a joke, to some people, it was going to seem inappropriate. I wasn't trying to come from a place of invalidating her experience or anything like that. But if you knew that was going to be a risk by going there, why go there? Especially when we know when it comes down to white girls and some things that y'all say, how that appears. That you don't get to make those things. Because I've heard people online call Salina Buck Wild. And Buck Wild from Flavor of Love. How she had that full-on wigger accent. And y'all were trying to come for her over it. But Salina did give her reasons as to why she put on the whole Chichi Rodriguez Chola Benji girl type accent. And someone who's of Latin descent, if they want to play like a Benji character, they can play that. And y'all seem to forget when it comes to performance and drag, because I meant what she said to me when I brought it up. And I'm going to get to what it is about the thing. So apparently what people were trying to go for the whole Salina thing, there was a video that was floating around that they posted on Reddit that Salina did way back in the day where she was a skinny queen and she had just started out doing drag. There's a YouTube video going around called Introducing Salina EsTitties at Project Drag 4. Now, when you watch the video, which I don't know how long the video is, but the video basically features Salina without that infamous accent that you hear on the show. Now, it's perfectly fine because a lot of us, when you go on camera, you put on a facade, you put on an act, you're performing, you're playing a character. Drag is a bunch of things. And when you look at who she's playing, she's a character. It's not like she's like Laganja, yes, mama, oh, girl, which she was doing when she was doing on the show. They were like, you're putting on an act. You're not being yourself. You're being inauthentic. Whereas as the Salina EsTitties character, she's a fully fleshed out character. She knows who she is now, so therefore that's where she's gonna go. So yeah, so Irene was like, I also understand that to me as a white person, I don't have the full understanding of what it really means to have to code switch. So the humor I see in it is maybe not there for other people, especially people of color. Irene says later, adding, it is one of those things that if I could go back, I probably would not have said. So when I heard that was that when the cameras were off, the girls did go and they patched things up, they worked it out, and everything is copacetic. But so which is great. Now let me get to what Salina said when I brought it up. I was like, people are going in on her, bringing up this whole thing about, the whole code switching, which I know there were a lot of white queens who do shows, drag shows, recaps. They didn't want to go there and touch that because I feel like this is what I love about being a person of color. And on top of that, a queer person of color, because we can bring nuance to things that other people cannot do because they don't understand what it's like to have the code switch. And unless you are a person of color, you don't know what it's like. But it would be nice if you could empathize and understand instead of trying to call people buck wild or you being fake, it's not that easy. So here's what Salina said, but as Jason DuBois, and I have the post here on the side, so I can see that as well. It says, I don't mind responding to this here. I'll say for me, I have had a lot of internalized racism and shame being Latino growing up. Around this time, I was newly sober and living in predominantly white West Hollywood. Still working through my shame at the time, I made sure to speak a certain way to seem more favorable and accepted. Job interviews, men, friends, etc. During this video, I had just started doing drag and my vision of Salina wasn't fleshed out yet. I'll say I had a very profound experience when I was on the set of Vita on Stars a year later after this video. It was then being on a set full of proud Latin people that I had opened the conversation and finally admitted that I had been ashamed all these years. There, the work began, and the embracing of who I am as a Latin person started to flourish. I no longer had to censor the way I sound, speak, or pronounce things a certain way. I was allowed to explore and have fun with all parts of who I am. Salina EsTitties allows me to embrace my true self, the good, the bad, the gorgeous, and the ugly. Do I amp it up in drag? Sure, she is me on crack at 100% a real-life cartoon of a personality brought to life. I don't expect anyone or Irene to ever understand my experience and journey. That's fine, but my frustrations came from feeling constantly beat down from my experience this entire season. It is what it is, take it or leave it, but that's all I have to say. And you know what? At that point, we could leave it right where it is. You could leave it where? Back there, in the words of my girl, Vivica Fox. So yeah, that was Salina's response to one of my posts when I brought that up. And I'm glad she responded because, one of the things is like, I'm always about trying to get to the bottom of things. I don't mean no ill will. I don't mean no malice when it comes to certain things. But to me, I always feel like it's easy for people to sit behind their computers and their phones and just sit and just try to to paint someone to be a certain type of way. And it's like, it's so much more than that when it comes to being an artist and also trying to exist as a person of color in a world that white people like to act like they're the majority, but y'all are not. Y'all may them be with the majority when it comes to the gatekeeping and businesses and corporations and nightclubs and this, that, and the third. And as people of color, we do have to kind of punch down and code switch and change up our vernacular. We do it all the time. If you're in a work environment, you get on the phone. Yes, hello, how are you? I'm calling because I'm letting you know that you have an appointment at this time. Yeah, we'll do that, and then motherfucker, what you want to rumble with the bee, huh? Like we have those moments. We've seen a lot of people do it. We all do it. So unless you are a person of color, you won't be able to understand what it's like. And it's unfortunate that some of us have to do that in order to coexist in a world that doesn't want us to exist in it to fucking begin with. So shout out to my girl Salina. I'm sad that you didn't have the best experience on your season. And I really would have liked in the reunion for them to elaborate more on the whole comment that she made towards Ross Matthews, where she told him to kiss my ass F word. So I would like to. I know they apologize and everything on social media and stuff, but I would really like for them to have. And I also wonder, like, had she not done that, would she have won Miss Congeniality? Because quite frankly, when I said Malaysia Baby Doll Fox won, I'm like, huh? Y'all really didn't have a lot of choices to pick from in regards to Miss Congenial, because there wasn't nobody really congenial in this damn season. But I guess because she's a pageant queen, they had to give her to somebody. But she a